Hello there, this is the World News at 12 on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. My name is Chioma Innocent, and here are the top stories. U.S. calls for an end to Gaza war. Obasanjo criticizes exclusion of Igbos from presidency over Biafra attempt. Adeyanju declares Tinubu unbeatable in 2027 election. Shore alleges Wike's pocketing of Judiciary, and a truck collision kills driver on Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. Details now. Thank you for staying with us. The World News at 12 begins with the United States Secretary of State Anthony Blinken calling for an end to the conflict in Gaza and urging Israel to avoid further escalation with Iran. Israel is fighting Iran-backed Hamas in Gaza and Hezbollah in Lebanon and has pledged to hit back against Iran's October 1 missile strike. In Lebanon, state media reported an Israeli drone strike on Tyre after the military warned residents of parts of the coastal city to flee ahead of operations targeting Hezbollah. Blinken's visit to the region is his 11th since the start of the war in Gaza and his first since Israel-Hezbollah violence escalated to all-out war late last month. The war in Gaza began with Hamas's October 7, 2023 attack on Israel, which resulted in the deaths of 1,206 people, mostly civilians. Israel's retaliatory offensive has killed 42,718 people in Gaza, also mostly civilians, according to figures from the Hamas-run territory's health ministry, which the United Nations considers reliable. Meanwhile, back home in Nigeria, ex-President Olusegun Obasanjo has said it is not fair to blame only the Igbos for attempting to secede from Nigeria. This is as the former Nigerian leader said the country's three major ethnic nationalities had at one time or another attempted to break up the nation through secession. He said he usually felt bad each time he heard some people say no Igbo man would become Nigeria's president due to the bloody January 15, 1966 coup that truncated the First Republic. Obasanjo stated that there were Nigerians from other parts of the country who also attempted secession. He made this remark while addressing a 20-man delegation of the League of Northern Democrats led by former Kano State Governor Ibrahim Shekarau at the Olusegun Obasanjo Presidential Library in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital. The elder statesman recalled that there was a strong move by the North to pull out of Nigeria through what he called the vehicle of Araba. Obasanjo noted that many Nigerians shared the worries expressed by the National League of Democrats. The ex-president said he would support the group if it has a national outlook instead of the present provincial or regional identity. Let's take a listen to former President Olusegun Obasanjo speaking.
The people say because the Igbos have carried out secession, therefore an Igbo man cannot be president of Nigeria. That's a what nonsense. And I say that there's no section of Nigeria that has not planned secession. What is Araba? What is it? Secession. Araba, not Araba. Araba. And the North plan to break up Nigeria. And a judge that told me a delegation like this. You are shaking your head, you know about that. Went to Ahijo. And Ahijo was the one who actually stopped the train. Because Ahijo asked, well, when you go, where is your waterfront? They said, well, we will join Cameroon. He said, I will not accept you. Go back. And Major, a very great friend of mine, told me that story. What is treasonable fellow? Huh? What is a treason? Well, you are mentioning him. So, who among us is acrimonious and can say, yes, I'm better than this? None. So let us now put our heads together and decide to build a country together.
In a recent development, activist and lawyer Deji Adeyanju today cautioned the former presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) Atiku Abubakar, the new Nigerian People's Party (NNPP) Rabiu Kwankwaso and Peter Obi of the Labour Party against wasting their money to contest in 2027. Adeyanju said it was better for Atiku Obi and Kwankwaso to use their money to play bets rather than to contest and spend on the 2027 presidency. Posting on X, Adeyanju claimed that the three former presidential aspirants cannot defeat President Bola Tinubu even if they unite. Adeyanju said it is better for Atiku Obi and Kwankwaso to use their money to play two odds on betting than to contest against Tinubu and INEC. He posted, and I quote, "Even if they all unite now, it is all for nothing. It is a waste of time to contest elections in a nation where results on IREV are changed. Edo on my mind. I will waste my vote is no longer finding it funny. And Tinubu is just starting. The best time the opposition had to defeat APC was the last election if they united. Even if they all come together now, Tinubu and INEC will not lose an election Tinubu will conduct." End quote. In the meantime, former presidential candidate of the African Action Congress (AAC) and human rights activist Omoyele Sowore has labeled the immediate past governor of Rivers State and minister of the FCT, Nyesom Wike, as the chief corrupter of the Nigerian Judiciary who has the judges in his breast pocket. Sowore, who is also the convener of the #RevolutionNow movement, made the allegations in a post on his X handle on Tuesday, saying Wike's significant influence over the Nigerian judiciary is akin to effectively pocketing them and telling them what to do at every point in time. According to him, Wike's influence on the Nigerian judiciary is so profound that his wishes are often granted even before he makes them known. Citing the tenure of the president of the Court of Appeal, Sowore alleged that Wike awarded a contract to build the Court of Appeal in Port Harcourt, Rivers State capital, which he said was another form of putting it on his payroll. Meanwhile, the People's Democratic Party (PDP) Governors Forum has scheduled its National Executive Council meeting, originally scheduled for October 24 to November 28. The decision was reached following the consultative meeting of its various organs, which was held on Tuesday at the Bauchi State Governor's Lodge, Tatari Ali House in Asokoro. A communique issued and signed by the chairman of the PDP Governors Forum and Governor of Bauchi State, Senator Bala Mohammed, after the meeting said the meeting's postponement is to ensure that the party goes into the forthcoming Ondo gubernatorial election scheduled for November 16 with the unity and strength demanded to unseat the APC government in the state. The meeting also sought an end to disunity amongst members. The meeting comes in the wake of an internal crisis currently rocking the party. In a tragic development, a driver lost his life after his bus collided with a moving truck near Car C in the Loto area of the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. The driver, who was the only occupant of the bus loaded with bags of potatoes, was reportedly heading to Lagos when the incident occurred. According to eyewitness, the driver may have dozed off behind the wheel, losing control and crashing into the truck from the rear. Confirming the incident in a statement to journalists, the public relations officer of the Ogun State Traffic Enforcement and Compliance Agency, Babatunde Akimbi, said the accident was caused by excessive speed and possible fatigue. You're listening to the World News at 12 right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. Now joining me to discuss issues in the news this afternoon, I have Elder Manford Igbe-Kalu. He's an elder statesman as well as a political analyst. Hello, are you with me, Elder Manford? Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
How are you doing today, sir? Thank you for joining me.
Yeah.
So we'll be beginning with Obasanjo criticizing that Igbo people are being excluded from presidency due to the attempt to secede, that is due to the Biafran attempt. And I just want to ask, one cannot deny right now that there have been ethnic dynamics in Nigerian politics recently, but would you agree that there are powers or cabals working against Igbo presidency in Nigeria?
Thank you for having me. The thing is for everybody to see that there are power, not even only Obasanjo saying it. There are powers working against the Igbo in Nigeria in totality. There are a lot of power that doesn't want the Igbo race to even breathe, talk less of to show up their eyes. There are a lot of power. Obasanjo is right.
Now, if you're saying that Obasanjo is right, we have many people who would rather vote for someone from their region, even if the person is incompetent. How would you say the concept of regional identity is actually affecting national unity? Because these powers cannot work without Nigerians themselves being complicit. You will hear people saying, I can't vote for this person because he's not from my region. I'll vote for this person because he's my brother. So is it the cabals who are actually the problem?
If you look at it very well in Nigeria, it doesn't actually look like if they don't vote for you, you will not get to leadership positions. In Nigeria, it's in other countries that if they don't vote for you, you will not go there. But in Nigeria, if you look at what happened in 2023, you will know exactly that it doesn't matter even if you are voted for. When the normal powers are looking for how to do it, they know what to do, and they will do it very well. So it doesn't matter. Even in everywhere, it's everywhere. Some people will like you, some people will not like you. But the normal thing in positions of power is those that are the ones that fix how people come to position. They know what to do. It's not Nigeria. In Nigeria, we know that it's not when they vote for you, you go to power. No, we know. So that is it. It doesn't matter whether they vote for you or they don't vote for you. The power that will fix it, if it gets to when they will fix it, they will fix it and you will be there. That is just how it works.
The powers that be will fix it and you will be there. All right. Let's go back to the events of the January 15, 1966 coup, and of course the civil war that followed the next year in 1967. How would you say that this event have continued to shape the perception of Igbo leadership aspirations in Nigeria today? How would you say it has continued to shape the way that when Igbo people want to be leaders, would you say that's the reason why other people come up and then say that will not happen? Because we've heard that utterances from different people, different times.
If you look at that coup very well and read what we have read, you will know exactly that coup wasn't an Igbo coup. But because of the sentiment that has been gotten people, they tagged it an Igbo coup. And when people want to hate you, it doesn't matter how good you are. Your brilliance can be a hatred to you because you are too brilliant, because you are too nice, because you are outspoken. It can be a hatred to you, and people can just tag you anything, and it works like that. If they have ganged up against you, there is nothing you can do. You might be doing good, and people will turn that good back. I've seen people that are doing good, they will ask you whether it's only you that God has made to do good. So that queue, if you begin to think on that queue, it doesn't really work that way if it comes. It wasn't an Igbo man queue. It was, if you look at it very well and look at the people that were in that queue, doesn't mean that there were much people on it, but because of the circumstances that have surrounded it, they just target an Igbo man queue, and the sentiment begins to go around. So that is the way I see it.
All right. What are the steps that you, in your opinion, that you feel the steps that need to be taken to ensure fair and equal opportunities for all ethnic groups, including the Igbos, the Yorubas, the Hausas, everyone, to achieve leadership positions in Nigeria without anybody saying, oh, go back to your states and go and vote there. Don't come and try to impose an Igbo man on the Yoruba state or utterances like that we have been seeing since the 2023 elections?
My sister, it's very hard. It is very hard because of how people want to grab power. It is very hard because people's sentiment in leadership is not a thing that will unite the country. They begin to see it as you, not us. The governance in Nigeria, people don't see it as we want to do the people favor. They see it as we want to grab as much as we want to grab. They look at themselves in governance and begin to say, this is a millionaire, I want to get how many billion this one has gotten. They don't go there for leadership. They go there to think on how much they will grab. So it will be very hard to give suggestions on how people will unite the country, because they have made it in a way that they will not unite the country. We can only be deceiving ourselves, but they have done it in a way that they cannot unite the country. That is just it.
All right,
because they know if they unite the country, the masses will have the power to begin to challenge them.
Are the masses not aware of all these divisive tactics, and why do they keep falling for it?
The masses are aware, but because some of them has used their soul to turn to PDP, APC, ABGA, this. So they don't really understand that it's them, the masses, that is suffering. Because if you cannot feed your family, it doesn't concern the politicians. If you cannot pay your school fee, it doesn't concern the politicians. If you cannot enter transport, it doesn't concern them. They will call you a lazy man. They will call you a lazy woman. So it is only when the masses see that this suffer, because the masses they are not suffering. No, they are not suffering now.
They are not suffering now with the current economic realities, with inflation heading for over 30%, with a bag of rice going for 110,000. How can you say people are not suffering now?
The suffer has not come, Mrs. Presenter. The suffer has not come. We are still enjoying. When the suffer will come, where you cannot look at your child's eye and be happy, you will see people will stand up. Now, if you see everywhere is mute, nobody is talking, people are just sitting down, behaving as if nothing is happening. The suffer have not come.
So we need more suffering to unite Nigerians to ask for better governance.
We need more suffer. We need more suffering so that our brain will come to unite us and to know exactly that this is not a program of Hausa man or an Igbo man or a Yoruba man. That is when they will know that the elites have captured all of us, that they are using our destiny to play like draft. People are using our destiny to stay in the office. When they will understand that your child that was supposed to come out like that man that is sitting in Abuja is staying with you at home, doing nothing, and you are feeding a child that was supposed to come and feed you, then people will now begin to reason. Maybe it will not be in this our generation, it might be the one to come.
While we're talking about this, let's go back to the elections that actually bring these leaders into leadership positions. We have a lawyer and activist, his name is Deji Adeyanju, saying that Peter Obi of the Labour Party, Kwankwaso of NNPP, and Atiku of the PDP should not bother to waste their money to contest election in 2027. In fact, he's saying it's better for them to go and use that money to gamble. It's better they use that money to play bet. And I want to read out to you what he wrote. He's saying even if they unite now, is for nothing, that it is a waste of time to contest election in a state, in a country where the results on IREV will be changed. He now mentioned the example of Edo State. He's saying that Tinubu is just starting. The best time the opposition had to defeat APC was in the last election, that the opposition should have united in the last election if they really wanted to defeat the ruling APC. Even if they all come together now, Tinubu and INEC will not lose an election that Tinubu will conduct. With the united opposition, he's saying that these people cannot defeat the president. Would you agree with this? Would you say this is realistic?
I agree with Dr. Deji 110%. Because if you look at the antecedent, by the time he has not even been a president, he could defeat all of them with INEC. Then now he is sitting as a president to talk to INEC, and INEC look at the INEC or look at his face one-on-one. Mahmoud look at his face one-on-one and look at his behavior. All that behavioral attitude that he was not on the seat agreed with him. Both the judiciary, both this, both that, all of them agreed with him. Is it now that he is sitting down that the opposition, no matter how they unite, so far as the Mr. INEC, the Mr. Fixer is there, there's nothing we can do. I would have only asked them to allow him to finish his tenure, and Nigeria will begin to look for how we do it, because he is there as a strategy, as they said, and nobody will remove him there. It's just a simple thing, because no matter how you vote, look at the one they vote in Edo State. After voting in Edo State, everybody saw what they are doing, saw the keepers, saw everything, and INEC still declared it. So who tell you that in the presidential own that if you see many tippers, they will still not declare it?
There are people who are of the opinion, right, that the 2027 elections, rather, it is another opportunity for INEC to redeem its image and its integrity that has been dampened in the eyes of Nigerians since 2023.
INEC, we know, cannot redeem its image. INEC, we know, cannot redeem its image. If there is a parable that if something happened to you once, happened to you the second time, and you are still believing it, the person is a fool. So INEC cannot redeem its image. If INEC must have done what it did in 2023 and still go back to Edo and do another one, who tell you that the presidential own will be clean?
Let's talk about the opposition, Elder Manford. What are some strategies that you think they should employ if the opposition actually want to compete effectively against the ruling party in 2027? If a measure won't work, what then can they do?
It will be very hard for the opposition because the man in power knows how politics works. So if the opposition do not take time, the man in power will bring their presidential candidate to compete with him. So that is just that.
That is, you are saying he will work to have a presidential candidate in one of the opposition parties to contest against him, and then he will win?
The oppositions are not serious because I've seen the.
Would the measure make them serious? Would the measure make them serious?
Even measure cannot make them serious because he will still put his hand inside what they are doing. The measure cannot make them serious.
Okay, because of our time.
After 2027, no matter how they do it, they will get it.
Okay.
But this one they cannot get it.
There is no gainsaying the fact that the 2023 elections has been highly involved in all the judiciary has been highly involved in all the lawsuits that has come out from the 2023 elections. Just yesterday, Shiwore took to his Twitter handle to say that Wike has been a major corrupter of the judiciary. In fact, he's saying that in judicial circles, Wike is known as the golden boy of the judiciary because he's helping to corrupt the judiciary. He mentioned Justice Zainab Bokachiwa when she was the president of the Court of Appeal, that Wike gave her a contract to build the Court of Appeal in Port Harcourt, and that anything Wike wanted will be granted to him before he acts. He's saying that even before Wike became governor of Rivers State, he was the go-to person to buy judgment or to buy judges during elections and tribunals. Now, this same Justice Zainab Bokachiwa, I want you to recall that her husband, as a senator, came on the floor of the Senate to talk about how he influenced his wife, that he would talk to her for his friend when she was a judge, right? Does Wike really have the judiciary in his pocket? And how exactly would that have happened? And is that why he's the minister of the FCT today?
Thank you for having me. If you see what our former Senate president told the husband of Bukashua, he told him that, Honorable, please don't go there. So we know exactly that these are people that seize tomorrow. And if they are saying it, a lot of people will be doubting them. What Shore have said, if you look at it very well, how come Wike, the Supreme Court has given a verdict that all local governments should go and hold, and Wike can go inside a court and bring up a judgment that says Rivers State should not hold election, and people are believing it. You don't see that what Shore said is true?
You know that Wike is right now building houses for judges on a land that was originally allocated to Julius Berger in the FCT. Shiwore is saying that building houses for judges is a direct bribe.
Our senses will not tell you that the favor they will give him back is when he brings any court case, they will give him judgment.
So you agree that Wike is corrupting the judiciary? And that these houses he's building for the judges in Abuja and allocating lands to them in choice areas of Abuja, that it is an attempt to bribe judiciary in order to curry their favor.
He is looking for serious favor from them. And whatsoever he takes to them, they will just acknowledge it and give him judgment. Well, not all of them will, but those ones that he knows he will work with, because there are still integrities in some of them. So that is it. And you're supposed to know that if somebody of that caliber builds a house and gives you, since you are not his brother or you are not his sister, he is looking something from you.
Wike has the Nigerian judiciary in his breast pocket, and you agree with Shore?
I totally agree with you.
So who at this point, and with all of these allegations leveled against him, who's going to call him to order? Because the land where he's building houses for the judges now was the land that was allocated to an organization, was allocated to Julius Berger, and he revoked that land. All those people now who are suffering from the effect of all of this, and when they talk about buying judgment and bribing judges and corrupting the judiciary, those people who will be on the other end and who are not getting justice, how are they going to get that? And how can the judiciary actually reclaim its mandate as the last hope of the common man? Because since 2023 there's been a lot of prejudice against judiciary by Nigerians.
The way I see it, the person that was supposed to call Wike to order is not calling him to order, because they are doing trade and barter. They are doing gambling with Nigerians. For Wike to have revoked Julius Berger's land to build for the judges, if you look at it very well, it's a well orchestrated plan to favor them, so that whatsoever that will come 2027, whatsoever business that they are doing now that will come 2027, anybody that sits in that seat will give the judgment they are looking for. Because if you see how Wike talks, he talks and beats his chest. And when he beats his chest, you're supposed to know, if you look at it very well, a child that the father is at his back will use his leg and break everything and break the bottle. So we know that the person that was supposed to call Wike to order is not doing that. And for
which is whom? Who's the person that's supposed to call Wike to order that is not doing that?
Mr. President. Because Mr. President was supposed to exactly understand where the problem will come. Julius Berger, the people that is in that land, so many things, the problem will still come. Even if they leave power, one day the problem will come. We have seen so many of them, even when in Abuja, when people will come and say, this is our land, military have collected our land. So problem will come one day. The problem will come, but we are praying that if the problem that will come, if it's possible, let it come now, not after this government has left.
What kind of problems are you foreseeing? Like, are you foreseeing that Wike's actions will have a negative perception on the presidency?
Julius Berger will go to court. The people that own that land will still take the federal government to court. And there is a problem that is going to come on it. That is it. The problem will come. Wike will feel is the all and all, the alpha and omega, the way he's bragging, the way he's doing things. He is going to create a problem that people will not like Mr. President again. That is the truth. And he's creating the problem because if Mr. President is every now and then keeping Wike quiet in whatsoever he's doing, even if people self will not like him in what he's doing.
Elderman, there are reports of a cabinet reshuffle coming up in the president's cabinet very soon. Would you expect that Wike will be one of those ministers who will be let go or whose portfolios will be changed?
Is that the government or the president do it now and let Wike go so that people will not begin to hate the president unnecessarily? Because what Wike is doing, Wike is behaving as if he is the president. And the president should know about it, should look into it, notwithstanding that they have an unfinished business. But the president has left Minister Wike to begin to behave as if he is the president, because he is speaking more than the president. We were supposed to be hearing from the president than Wike. So, and the president keeping quiet without talking and leaving him to continue. Everywhere in the world, they will look at him. If you look when Buhari was in power, when they came new, it's Igbo that people knew than Buhari, because Igbo was speaking them more than Buhari. So our president should understand it very, very well. Notwithstanding he's a master strategy, but he should remember that Wike is a minister, and him is the president of the country because it's him that the country vote for. So he should not allow Minister Wike to be overshadowing most of what his government is doing.
Thank you.
If not, the hatred will be there.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Elderman, for that. Time is fast spent and we need to go. But I must thank you for joining me on the World News at 12 this afternoon. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. You have been listening to the World News at 12 right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. Just before we wrap up, let's take a look at the top stories again. You heard that the United States has called for an end to Gaza war. Obasanjo criticizes the exclusion of Igbos from presidency over Biafra attempt. Adeoju declares Tinubu unbeatable in 2027 election. And Shore alleges Wike's pocketing of Nigerian Judiciary. Truck collision kills driver on Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. And that is a wrap on the World News at 12. My name is Chioma Innocent. Please follow our social media handles at VOP903FM. Good afternoon and thank you for listening. Do stay tuned. Alhaji Action is right here for Area Matter.